Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session inside Double My E-Commerce Sales in 12 Months Facebook group. My name is Ala Hassan, the founder of E-Commerce Training Academy. And once again, we're doing this Facebook Live to help you increase your e-commerce sales. For those of you who are joining us live, welcome. Again, just a quick reminder that I'm hosting a lot of these Facebook Lives inside the private Facebook group, Double My E-Commerce Sales. Make sure to request access, and you're going to be able to attend a lot of these interesting sessions where I share a lot of strategies, tactics, proven tips that actually work over the last couple of years that I've used myself and big brands have used themselves to grow their businesses. So everything I'm sharing here inside this group is actually proven to work, but you got to put in the work. So today, let's start talking about a topic that I feel requires some attention, especially when you start spending a lot of money on marketing and advertising. So let's assume, and for those who are joining me live, let me know in the comments whether or not you hear me well. Again, I sometimes forget, and I want to make sure that this is taken care of. So let me know in the comments if you hear me, you see me, and also I'm going to increase the size of my slides so that you get to see it, and I don't have to like zoom in and zoom out. So let me just also make sure on my side that everything is good and working. Perfect. So let's get started. All right, so let's assume for a moment that you have an online store and you sell carrots. I know it's like a simple example, but I figured, you know what example can I come up with that everyone can understand? And let's assume for a moment that you sell carrots. You launched this beautiful online shop, proud of it. It works. You have a lot of carrot options. And right now you're thinking about going all out and advertising your business across the internet, whether it's to attract local customers or online only customers, doesn't matter at this point. So let's say you sell carrots. So who's going to be your target audience? Obviously, anyone who needs carrots. That's pretty given. You're not targeting people who just simply don't like carrots. So anyone who has a need for this type of vegetable, that's the person that you're going to be targeting, obviously. So those people that need carrots, who could it be? Obviously, we know for a fact that rabbits love carrots. Unfortunately, the last time I checked, these guys can't make any online purchases. But we know that rabbit owners will need carrots to feed their pet. So that's one type of buyer that you may be targeting, one type of customer. It could be that you have some fitness lover who loves juicing carrots, wants to make sure that she or he gets all her nutrients by juicing, and they stay fit, and it helps their whole nutrition part of the workout, the whole thing. So this type of person could also be potentially a customer for your carrots. Grandma who loves to bake carrot cakes is also potentially the target customer. So I love carrot cake. I don't know how to bake one, but someone who loves baking, especially loves baking carrot cakes, that could also be a type of customer for you. Fourth, someone who's into wellness and nutrition, someone who cares about their vitamins. They want their vitamin A, and that's one part. They vitamin C, D, you name it, everything else, they care about that stuff. So a wellness and nutrition junkie that really cares about their vitamin intake. That's another person who might consider buying your carrots online. And finally, a passionate cook, someone who loves cooking and loves creating all these phenomenal recipes that use carrots as the main ingredient. So you can see right now how we've taken just carrots, and instead of just us saying, well, anyone who needs carrots, that's our target audience, we've specified 5 types of people that could potentially be interested in these types of products that you're selling in your online store. And you can apply this across every single type of product. So I'm using carrots right now just to make it easy. So all of those people that I just mentioned right now are potential buyers, but now you know more about them versus you just saying, I'm targeting everyone who wants carrots. You're talking about someone who is a rabbit owner, a fitness lover, a grandma who loves to bake, anyone who likes to bake, wellness and nutrition junkie, and someone who's passionate about cooking and loves using carrots inside the recipe. So all of these people are personas. So how can buyer personas increase e-commerce sales? And that's exactly what we're discussing today. So what is a buyer persona? I honestly use the definition that HubSpot uses because HubSpot is a big promoter of this concept of saying a buyer persona is a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer based on market research and real data about your existing customers. When creating your buyer personas, consider including customer demographics, behavior patterns, motivations, and goals. The more details you bring in, the better. So the more you outline what these buyers are all about, the better it is for you, and I'll explain why. So one thing you want to remember is everybody is not your customer. And this is the biggest mistake I've seen people make. Let's face it, not everyone is going to buy your carrots. Not everyone is going to buy your jewelry. Not everyone is going to buy your beauty products, your yoga products, you name it. Any product that you may have, it's not made for every single part of every customer out there. You really have to consider this because it's a fact. There is no product that's perfect for everyone. All right. Even if you think about the Apple products, they're not made for everyone. There's still people buying Androids. There's still people buying other devices that are not Apple. So again, not everybody is your customer. Remember that. And that's where you're going to start seeing great opportunities in how you go about marketing yourself, your brand, and your product. So why use buyer personas? First of all, it improves your overall message. You're not going out there just speaking to everyone who likes carrots. You're speaking to people who like baking, people who love to cook, people who love juicing carrots. You're speaking to specific people. So it improves your overall message. You're speaking to the right customer. So instead of you going out to everyone, you're speaking to those specific people. You're going to grab their attention. You're going to be able to personalize your marketing. You're not just saying, buy my carrots because they're so healthy. No, you're telling them, buy my carrots because your carrot cakes are just going to turn out amazingly delicious. So you're speaking to the right person by personalizing also your marketing. So when you're targeting, for example, someone who loves fitness, you're not using a picture of a cake or something like that. You're actually using a workout lifestyle shot because that's what resonates with this person, this target buyer of yours. It improves your advertising, targeting, and performance. So when you're spending all this money out there on advertising, targeting all these different buyers, you're going to start improving things because you're targeting these personas. And finally, it simplifies all of your marketing efforts. A lot of times I see people saying, well, I don't know what to write about. I don't know what kind of post should I be putting out there. You know what? As soon as you start implementing buyer personas, you're going to start having an easier time building out all of this content because you know exactly to whom you're speaking. So examples, blog topics. So whenever you're thinking about writing a blog post, instead of you just writing for anyone who likes carrots, well, today I'm going to share a cake recipe, a carrot cake recipe. And I'm going to speak only to people who love to bake. And that's my topic today. So topics are going to get a lot easier for you to brainstorm and come up with and write about as you start targeting your message. Product recommendations. When you know who it is that you're targeting, you'll be able to recommend the right products. They're going to click on those products and eventually also purchase them from you. Your social media posts and stories, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, you name it, all of those are going to improve when you start targeting the right personas. Your email campaigns, every time you send out an email, starting with the subject line, that's the first thing. The subject lines are going to improve. Your content is going to improve inside the email. Your call to actions are going to improve. All of these things are going to help you overall get better results from your email campaigns. And finally, banner ads. So if I'm targeting someone who loves to juice, they came to my website and left and they see one of my banner ads and I'm using, let's say, a juicing machine and I'm showing like a carrot juice right there, I'll grab their attention because I'm speaking to this person. So everything, when you think about marketing and advertising, starts to improve. And these are only a couple of examples for you to consider. Next. I saw someone mention that, yeah, some people call them avatars. There's so many names out there. So avatars, buyer personas, there's so many names. So again, the whole idea here is for you to understand exactly the concept behind it. So buyer personas improve your advertising efforts, which I already mentioned. But what's important is when you create, let's say, a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or any ad across all social media networks, your headline is going to be speaking to the right persona. So your headlines are going to get better because they're going to grab someone's attention. Your copy is going to improve because you're speaking again to this type of persona. Your creatives, all the images, whether it's videos, images, lifestyle shots that you are using inside your ads are also going to improve because, again, you're speaking to the right person. Improved call to action. So again, when I tell you get recipe versus learn more, someone who likes to cook, someone who likes to bake, and they want that recipe, that call to action of saying get recipe is going to work better than you saying click here or learn more. So get juicing, start juicing. Again, you're seeing how the call to actions start improving again because of the fact that you're targeting those specific personas. Your overall website experience is going to improve because the pages that you're going to be sending those people to are also going to speak to them as the buyer, the targeted buyers. So all of this together is simply going to help your overall advertising performance. What do I mean exactly? Well, you're going to be able to target the right audience. So when you create your Facebook ads, Google ads, you name it, you'll be able to target the specific types of users based on your personas, whether it's demographics, location, age, gender. We're going to go through all of this stuff here. So by having these personas, you're going to be able to target the right audience using your performance, your ads. You're going to improve the overall ad engagement. So people are going to click on your ads even more. So again, these are all signals to the Facebook, to the Google networks that, by the way, this ad is resonating with this audience. Keep showing it. We're getting better results. And obviously, when you start getting results, you as an advertiser, you end up spending more money. So it benefits. It's a win-win situation. It improves the ad quality. So the ad quality score in general, the more people engage with your content, the more positive engagement comes out of it, the more Facebook and Google are going to help you push those ads even further and reach other people on those networks. Overall, you're going to have a better return on investment, ROI. You spend $1, you may end up with $4, $5 return. The more better quality these ads are, the better return you're going to get going forward. So your message will resonate with the right people because you're not just going out there and just targeting everyone on social media. You're not targeting just everyone who visits your website or creating content that's made for everyone. You're being very specific onto which buyers are going to be engaging with your ads or your content as well as your products. So how do you create buyer personas? Don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to share with you a template that we're going to fill out together. So here's a typical template I like to use. Let me just share this in, you know what, let me just go ahead right away. Just make a copy of it. Just make a copy of the presentation and you'll be able to immediately, there we go. Let me go. Here's the presentation. I'm gonna put this in the comments for you guys so you have it. Give me a second. Perfect. So I put it inside the comments inside the Facebook Live, so for you guys to see this. So this is the typical template I like to use. It works really well. Obviously, there are many templates out there that you could use to get the job done. I'm trying to just simplify things for you at this point. So what I like to do is I use Google Slides for personas. Give a persona a big slide like this one here. And this is the type of information I like to have. First of all, I like to name my personas. And when I say name, I don't just say persona number 1. I will say, for example, her name is Jennifer. So I like to name them so that in the end, when I create marketing material, whether it's content, whether it's ads, you name it, all that stuff, we say, oh, how is Jennifer going to respond to this piece of content? How is Jennifer going to respond to this ad, this Facebook ad, this Instagram ad? When you get used to naming your personas, it's just going to be a lot easier for you to refer to them. And sometimes even if you have couples as personas, so John and Mary, for example, that could be one persona. That's the first thing. Then I like to also include a brief description of what this persona is all about. And we're not talking about a biography here. We're just saying this person loves fitness. She enjoys eating healthy, for example, all that stuff. Just a 1 or 2 lines, that's all it is. You don't need to put more than that. When it comes to the picture, so I like to use usually the picture of the person. Like, let's say, for example, again, it doesn't have to be a real person, but you can find a picture online, use it as your persona right here. Hold on. And I should mention also something. Give me a second. So I like to put some visuals so people can visualize who Jennifer is, okay? And we'll talk about how to gather this research. So don't worry, I got you covered there too. So then we start filling out key elements within a persona. Now, obviously you can add a lot more. I just believe that this is the minimum you should have so that it gives you a good perspective upon what type of persona is this person here. So things I like to start first of all with demographics. So demographics tells me a little bit about who they are. Psychographics on the other side is why they buy. So who's buying from us and why they're buying from us. This is very important. So that's the difference between demographics and psychographics. So let's start filling out things like gender. Well, this one is a female. I'll say, I like to use age. Let's say, I'm gonna say this person is 30 years old. Or sometimes it's okay when you go out there, let's say Jennifer is 30 years old. Well, when you go out there and you create an ad, you may put it where you're targeting people between 30 and 35 or 25 to 35. So it doesn't have to be the exact age. But the idea is Jennifer is 30 years old. She has a graduate degree, let's say, university degree. So you know that she finished university. Right now, she is a nutritionist, let's say. That's her occupation. I don't know why. Nutrition. Okay, I don't know why I am blanking out on the spelling, but that's why you love Google. Family, she is single. She's not married yet. Income, let's say, I don't know how much they make, but I'm just gonna say 75,000 a year. That's her salary. And you can put things like, for example, she has a dog. That's it. So you can add additional fields. So again, don't limit yourself to this only. There are many additional things that you can add to it. Then I go in terms of language. So geographic elements. So she speaks English and French, fluent. She lives in Canada. She's in the province or state of Quebec and lives here in Montreal, where I live. So that's geographic information about her. Then I go inside the psychographic part. So when it comes to psychographics, personality, she's very, I don't know, liberal, outgoing, lifestyle, very loves the outdoors, interests. She likes, let's say, yoga, fitness. Her values are, anyways, I can't come up with so many words right now, but attitudes. I like this, brands, the brands that she likes. So for example, I'm just gonna come up with Lululemon, for example. She likes, I like putting in the different brands she likes, because when you know that this person likes these brands, your targeting when you start creating ads is going to improve as well. So she likes Lululemon, Nike, and Charity Water, for example. Celebrities, she's into, I'm just gonna say Beyonce or Oprah, you name it. So all the celebrities that these people, that person would typically follow, that's what I would put in there. I like to also use this concept of digital footprint. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Digital footprint is, for example, a list of websites that she likes to visit. So I don't know, she likes to Huffington Post. Let's just say she likes to go to HuffPost. I think that's what it's called now. She likes to, I don't know, go to CNN. All the websites that she usually goes to, let's say Goop. These are the websites that usually she visits on a daily basis. So again, the digital footprint really helps out, even if you want to put in there, for example, Facebook and Pinterest. So you can start putting in all these different websites that she uses on a daily basis. Again, this is going to help you out when you start creating content and where should you be distributing all this content. Influencers are a list of people that she likes to follow. It could be anybody out there. It could be on Instagram. It could be on, you name it, Facebook, TikTok, all these people. So for example, she likes cooking, let's say. I'm just Gordon Ramsay, let's say. Chef, she likes to follow him. So sometimes it could be micro influencers, it could be local people, it could be anybody. So the list could go on and on. The more details, the better, but just don't overwhelm yourself. The problem that I'm seeing most of the time is people don't even have this persona in place. They don't even have the template in place. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that any e-commerce brand will make when trying to grow their brand. You cannot grow your brand if you don't define your target audience and develop at least 3 to 5 personas, because in the end, you'll be all over the place. You're not positioning yourself really well in the market. You're not able to differentiate yourself. And the message is not going to grab anyone's attention. So if you at least have half of this information, you're already ahead. But I highly recommend that you go in more details as you start learning more about your audience. And then here, in terms of goals and challenges, you start writing out a list of goals that she wants to improve, let's say at the personal level, career level, financial level. What are her challenges in life? Let's say, for example, she could be dealing with some sort of, deficiency of some sort of vitamin, or she has a disease of some sort, and people that have this disease in the end really need carrots, for example. I'm just coming up with things just out of my head right now. But again, write down all their goals, personal goals, educational goals, career, all that stuff, and all the challenges they're facing. Because in the end, when you write down all these challenges, that's how you're going to be able to create some of the content, because your goal is to create content that will bring value or entertainment for those buyer personas. So that's one piece of the puzzle that you'll need to solve in the end. So again, the more information you write about them, the better it is. Then I would do this, literally, I will copy this template, just create another one, and I will take, for example, I'm going to call this guy John, and John here, take off her picture, I'll put his picture right in the corner. So now we have a persona for John, and I will fill up, again, all of this information. So that's as simple as that. Again, just start somewhere, have something, even if at least you have the 5 personas, that's going to be good. And don't limit yourself. A persona could be a couple, it could be a mother and daughter, it could be anybody. So again, it all depends on who's your target customer. So when you develop these personas, you're going to start asking yourself, how can I help those buyer personas? And when you ask yourself, well, what kind of marketing should I be doing? It's all about attention grabbing. But how can you grab someone's attention? Is by putting out content, ads, whatever it is that these people will relate to, whether to help them deal with certain challenges they're facing. It could be based on their interests, or it's just some sort of pattern interrupt, where in the end, if I have a rabbit pet, let's say, and I go through the feed and I see a picture of an ad from you and it has a picture of a rabbit, grabs my attention, because you know that I have a pet rabbit, let's say, that's going to grab my attention. I don't see pet rabbits all the time on Facebook, or I don't see them all the time when I'm browsing websites. So how can you help those buyer personas? And that's exactly how these templates are going to help you moving forward with all of your marketing when it comes to paid or organic, either or. So how can you perform this research? So now that you know how to create a buyer persona, well, how do you go about this? Let me just share this. Couple of things. First of all, if you're already selling online, you could use Google Analytics to find all of this information under the audience tab. When you start going under the audience tab, you'll see demographics, you'll see the devices they're using, some of the interests, you name it. All of these things should be already configured in your Google Analytics, but it's the best way to start if you already have data. If you don't have any data, I highly recommend that you look into Facebook Audience Insights, and inside the presentation, you'll be able to click on them. When you click on Facebook Audience Insights, you'll be able to search the audience on Facebook. So you can say, let me look for anyone who lives in New York City, female between the age of 25 to 35 who likes yoga or likes one of the brands or follows one of the influencers or likes to go to this website. You go back to your templates for your buyer personas to start you start putting that information inside the Facebook Insights, and it's going to help you find get a good idea of who are these people. Facebook is going to tell you the type of pages they like, the type of websites, the type of brands they like to purchase from. There's so much information inside Facebook audiences that I could literally do a whole training on that. But that's a great place to start if you don't have already a customer base. Another one too is, whether you have customers or not, is to survey people that fit this type of persona. So you can send them literally a form that they would fill out in exchange for, let's say, Amazon gift card, you name it. But surveying customers, and you ask them about what other brands do they like to purchase? What are some of what are the news websites they like to go to? What is the biggest challenge they're dealing with when it comes to, let's say, nutrition? And you start figuring out who these people are based on their answers. And you can ask them, male, female. Again, you're offering some sort of incentive. Some people will do it for free, and others will take it more seriously if you offer some sort of incentive. Amazon gift card is easy as well. You can just offer this, and that's it. That's all. Another thing is, one of my favorite is to interview customers. So HubSpot says these personas are semi-fictional. I like to go at it from a different approach. I like to go to actual customers of ours and survey these people and learn more about them. And I tell them, this is what we're trying to accomplish right here. And sometimes even you could go at your local coffee shop and reach out to these people and say, or even your friends, anybody, and ask if you see that someone would be interested in buying your product, then these are the people that you want to gather this information from. The biggest mistake you can make is actually make up all this information. Don't do that, because in the end you're guessing. I would rather it could be you're just faking it in a way. You don't want that. You want to make sure to be as accurate as possible. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to make sure you're speaking to the right customers, because in the end, you'll realize that there's a lot of information about these people that you didn't know about. And you will find great opportunities from all the insights that you're going to gather. You're only doing this for about 3 to 5 people, for example, and start somewhere versus, you don't have to interview 10 people. But as soon as you have someone who fits your persona, then great. Make sure you gather all this information, put it out there, and start using it across all of your marketing efforts. And make sure that your team is also aware of those personas. I recommend that you even print them out, put them up in the office when everyone is working on marketing campaigns, so that everyone says, well, this email, how is Jennifer going to answer it? Is she going to find value from this email? Or is John going to like this email more? Or this ad, is that going to resonate with Jennifer or Charlie, for example? So when you have these personas in the office, everyone is going to develop this habit of making sure that, are we helping Jennifer with this campaign? If not, then which persona is going to benefit from it? So in the end, you will avoid wasting time building out campaigns, content that simply is not going to resonate with anyone. And eventually, you won't be able to sell your product. So create this type of habit when it comes to creating all these campaigns. And trust me, it's going to save you a lot of money. And finally, the last thing that I want to put out there is, obviously, if you are a well-established brand, a lot of companies will go out there and hire research firms that are going to survey the market. They'll find these customers. They'll do a whole marketing survey for you. They'll figure out who knows about your brand. There's so many companies out there that can perform this work for you. And obviously, if you are in an established business and you really don't have the time, but again, it's a lot of work. So it makes sense for you to hire experts in this field so that they come back to you with a perfect persona of who you should be targeting. And there are companies out there that specialize in this. So that's really the last tip I have for this. So that's it. I hope this was useful. Again, I'm going to check in to see if there are any questions inside the Facebook group. But for those of you who are attending this webinar through the recorded version, make sure to join the private Facebook group where you'll be able to ask me all sorts of questions. Also, you'll benefit from the rest of the group members. Obviously, in the end, you may meet someone that can potentially help you out in the future within your e-commerce business. So let's see if there are any questions about anything that I've spoken about today. Oh, Jeff. And for those who are still here in the video, please like the video so at least other members in the group will see it. Oh, Jeff, you've been busy inside. So Jeff, glad finally you made it inside. Great, good to see you. So good breakdown potential of prospects. Yes. So buyer personas are going to be able having personas is going to help you really break down all these different prospects. Totally agree with this. Some of them are called avatars for sure. Mention current sources purchase options she has as to where to purchase leads to assessing competition. So yes, so when you're looking at personas, you can even ask them. Again, there's so many questions you can have in there. Things like what other competitors this person may be considering to buy carrots from, for example. Where does she shop usually? So that also gives you insights about the competition that's out there. What other websites have they considered buying from, or are buying from right now, and that maybe potentially they may not be your customers yet, but they're currently buying from another person who's selling carrots. Well, ask this question. In the end, you may grab a lot of this valuable insights about who the competition is. Yeah, totally agree. You'll be able to obviously create a lot of topics as you start building out your marketing. And this is really one of the things that I love most about buyer personas, the fact that it just simplifies all of your marketing efforts. You'll know where to put your dollars, and eventually you'll know which type of customer is bringing in the most dollars, and then put all of your efforts towards that. So it's a great start. And that's why I always say, when you're thinking about growing your e-commerce business, increasing sales, increasing traffic, you really need to have a customer, obviously know your target audience, your buyer personas, and develop a customer journey. I think I'm going to be doing a video about a customer journey later on. So these are things that you need to have in place before going out there and dumping hundreds, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising and marketing efforts. If you don't know who you're targeting, you're just really going at it blindly. Perfect. I don't see any more questions. I'll just wait for you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And so far, I don't see additional ones. Let me know as well in the comments if this was useful. Was it beneficial to you? And if there are additional topics you would like me to cover, don't hesitate to comment below. The recording is going to be available inside the e-commerce training academy as well as the Facebook group. So for those who want to watch it later on, you can do so inside the academy as well. All right, I don't see any more questions. Great. Thanks again for attending this Facebook Live. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Bye-bye.